Welcome back to the channel. This is your starting point for learning penetration testing and ethical hacking. I'll break down what hacking really means, explore different types of hackers, and walk you through the key phases used to access systems. Everything here is focused on learning, awareness, and cybersecurity best practices. Hacking refers to exploiting system vulnerabilities and compromising security controls to gain unauthorized or inappropriate access to the system resources. What is vulnerability? Vulnerability here are weaknesses in an asset that can be exploited by a threat agent. So some vulnerabilities can be misconfigurations. Some can be default passwords. People don't change their default password. Immediately they buy a router, they just use the default setups, right? A hacker can exploit that. Account with weak passwords, and so many. Hacking involves modifying systems or application features to achieve a goal outside of the creator's original purpose. Hacking can be used to steal, pilfer, and then redistribute intellectual property, leading to business loss. What is a hacker? Obviously, it's an intelligent individual with excellent computer skills, with ability to create and explore into the computer software and hardware. For some hackers, hacking is a hobby. Their intention can either to gain knowledge or to poke around to do illegal things. Now, let's talk about hacker classes. We have the first one to be the white hat. These are ethical hackers who use their programming skills for good, ethical, and legal purposes. Now, we also have what we call the gray hat. So these individuals who work both for offensively and defensively at various times. So these are individuals who commit crimes and do arguably unethical things, but not for personal gain or to cause damage. We also have what we call the black hat. These are unethical criminals who violate computer and network security for personal gain or for malicious reasons, such as attacking networks. We also have other types of hacker classes. And we also have the first one to be the suicide hackers. These are individuals whose aim is to bring down a critical infrastructure. We also have another type, which is called the script kiddies. These are skilled hacker who compromises a system by running scripts or tools and software that were developed by a real hacker. We have what we call the hacking cycle. For you to actually penetrate into a system, these are the phases that you need to follow. The first one is recognizance. The second one is you scan the network. After you scan the network, we normally scan the network to get some kind of information. We want to look out for operating system versions running on computers. We also want to look out for application and services vulnerabilities. We also want to look out for application and services configuration errors. We also want to look out for account with weak password. We also want to look out for open ports and running services and others. After we get all this information, the next step is to try to gain access. Then after we use tools to gain access, the next thing is to maintain access. And obviously, you need to clear your tracks. So let's take it step by step. Recognizance. Recognizance here refers to the preparatory phase where an attacker seeks to gather information about a target prior to launching an attack. So here we do what we call profiling. We need to gather some information on the target. Under the recognizance, we have two types techniques that we use. We have the passive one and we have the active one. So the passive recognizance involves acquiring information without directly interacting with the target. So you look out for information from public records, social media handles, news releases. And with active, that all means the attacker tries to interact with the target. So, for example, you call the system administrator and you engage him in some kind of conversation, and through that, you are able to get some kind of information for your next step of your attack. After you've performed your recognizance, the next step is to perform your scanning. So scanning refers to the pre-attack phase when the attacker scans the network for specific information on the basis of information gathered through recognizance. So I've explained to you some of the informations that we seek to gather when we perform scanning. So I said one is we look out for accounts with weak passwords, operating system version running on computers. We also look out for application and services vulnerability. We also look out for application and services configuration errors by the system administrators, obviously. And we also look out for open ports and their running versions or services. Now, we use tools like Nmap, Megaping, Unicorn Scan, HPing 2, HPing 3, and so many others to perform scanning. After you are done with your scanning, the next stage is to gain access. So gaining access refers to a point where the attacker obtains access to the operating system or application on the computer or network. The attacker can gain access at the operating system level, application level, or network level. So here the attacker can escalate privileges to obtain complete control of the system. So examples include password cracking, buffer overload, distributed denial of service attack, cross-site scripting, session hijacking, and many others. Now, maintaining access refers to the phase when the attacker tries to retain his or her ownership of the system. So the attacker may prevent the system from being owned by other attackers by securing their exclusive access with backdoors and rootkits or Trojans. So here the attackers can upload, download, manipulate application and configuration on their own system. So the attacker can use the compromised system to launch further attacks. And the last stage is clearing your track. So attackers always cover tracks to hide their identity. So covering tracks refer to the activities carried out by an attacker to hide malicious acts. So the attacker's intention include continuous access. He wants to get continuous access to your system. Remaining unnoticed, uncaught, deleting evidence that might lead to his prosecution. The attacker overrides the system's server and application logs to avoid suspicions. Warning: penetration testing should be done on a controlled environment and by following guidelines that guarantee the protection of the system you are testing. you need to have a written permission of the system owner before doing the penetration testing. That wraps up this introduction to penetration testing. Always remember, ethical hacking is about protection, permission, and responsibility. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more cybersecurity content in the next episode.